Welcome back, everyone, to Destiny and Design. I am your co-host, Christy, and this is Sharon.
Hi, I'm Sharon.
If you don't know me, I am recently married in Southern California after originally being from Canada, meeting the love of my life. And now I'm here with Sharon running these bi-weekly webinar MoonCast series.
Yes, and I'm Sharon. I was a 30-year IT business analyst project manager, getting laid off multiple times, probably 7 or 8 times in my career life, and got tired of being under the thumb of what corporations were doing. And now I'm running my own business, doing human design coaching, and I'm here doing these MoonCasts with Christy, where we talk about human design and destiny cards.
So if you have tuned into our last couple of sessions, this is not the first new moon in Virgo. Neither Sharon or I are astrologers. We do work with astrology, but last bi-weekly call, we said it was the full moon in Virgo, which it is. It's Virgo season and it was the full moon. But because of the full moon, it goes to the sister sign, which is Pisces. So it was after the recording and after we posted, we were like, oh, it was a full moon in Pisces for the astrology nerds. So we wanted to correct that on this call. The second new moon in Virgo will be September 21st, which is Sunday. And also on Sunday will be a partial solar eclipse. So normally on a new moon, we would set intentions, plant seeds. It's best to plant seeds for farmers during a new moon. But we have discovered that apparently on an eclipse of any kind, it's not good to set new intentions. Things are dark or murky or covered, so it's not a time when you want to be setting down new seeds. But if you have old seeds that you've planted or old intentions, it's a great time to revisit those as well.
One thing I did want to share, I'm totally the Columbo. And those of you who are old enough, you'll understand what that means. But one more thing. So if you're listening to this in the recording, you can always go back on the timeline, is what I've been told. Now, I don't know how I necessarily believe in that, but you can always go back on the timeline whenever this message or this session comes to you. That's the time that you're meant to hear it. And there's something in it for you at that time. So we will be posting the recording of this, and you can take all these nuggets whenever you see this.
So Destiny cards is an ancient system. It's pre-Egyptian, pre-tarot. Every major old civilization claims to have invented it. Our Gregorian calendar is based on this card system. It is related to numerology and astrology. There's a life spread and there's a spiritual spread. And based on that, depending on the day of your birth, you have a whole life spread that is already put out in front of you. There are karmic relations that are going to come up that you meet. It's actually really crazy. The first time that I had a reading, she told me that my breakup had happened for a reason and I had to find new ways to love myself and that I was going to find stable love on December 28th, which is the day that I met my lovely husband. Human design is a newer system based on astrology. We got the Chinese I Ching, quantum physics, the Hindu Brahmin chakra system. And you put the time of your birth and the location. It gives you not only where the planets are at that time, but also 88 days before that time. And that rules the subconscious, the body, as well as your conscious, the mind or personality. And when we put those graphs together, it comes up with a blueprint of how your aura actually works. And from there, we can see how you relate with other people in any given moment, as well as when the transits are active, we can see what parts of you are lighting up. So with these two systems together, we really love it. Human design is like how your car works. It's the owner's manual for your vehicle, for your body and your mind. And Destiny cards is like turning on the high beam. So you can actually see what's coming. And now that you know how to use your vehicle, you can navigate if there's a pothole, if there's a deer that runs out, you can be ready for these kind of things. Not like a definite future prediction system, but more like a weather forecast.
I have been studying human design for the past 5 years. I am certified to teach human design through the International Human Design School. And I thought that was the only thing that was available. I've done a lot of other personal training and development, and that's really helped shape the stories that I make up and what I want to create for my life. And at the same time, being able to see my design, I was thinking, okay, now I understand why I wound up being the way I wound up being, because it is very scientific. And then when I heard about Destiny cards in January from Christy, I was like, oh, it sounds even a little bit woo-woo for me. And I had a reading with her and I saw what my year was going to be because my birthday's in December. So I just passed my birthday and I put it down and ignored it. And then my year went on. And when I went back and looked at it, I saw that there was a 7 of diamonds in my Saturn period. And the 7 of diamonds itself indicates financial challenges and learning to appreciate things that are valued. And as I'm in the middle of the 7 of diamonds period in Saturn, I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I had this ability to turn on these high beams and I didn't look at it. I didn't look at it. I didn't believe in it. I just let it be. And what the 7 of diamonds in Saturn can also mean is during this period, you could be faced squarely with your inner level of prosperity or poverty. And you could wind up turning this into financial success if you're aware of it. But I didn't do that. I actually wound up in the poverty period and I wound up sitting back in my victim mentality of why is this happening to me? I've been putting in so much efforts. Then I go and I look back at the period before that, and it actually said I had good money cards in there and that things were possible in business. But I had just come off of the period before, off of 4 long months working for H&R Block and putting in tons of hours. And suddenly I had this free time and I didn't want to do anything with it. I was comfortable where I was. So I didn't do anything. I wasted those 52 days of preparing for what was coming up in the 7 of diamonds period. And all I want to point out with this is Destiny cards is not something that is like a tarot card reading or going to a mystic and having your cards read and all that kind of woo woo. We're just going to pull things out of the air. It's literally something scientifically created, just like our calendar is. And we are still human beings. We still have choice in what we do. So I could have seen that 7 of diamonds bad financial period coming up, and I could have done exactly what I did. Sit back and do nothing. And then my car going down the road would be like having no headlights on. And I would slam into that deer that's standing in the middle of the road and have to deal with that. Or I could have my high beams on and I could still choose to just go down that same road and go around the deer. Or I could see that deer and choose to go down a different road. Oh, I'm going to take this turn off here and I'm going to go create something amazing for my life because I can see there's a deer up there that I'm going to hit if I continue down this way. So that's what we wanted to share with all of you is we're not saying this is some woo thing that you are destined to have all these things, good or bad, happen to you. It's something that gives you another tool to look at what's coming, and you get to be at choice for how you want to do that. And if you want to create possibility, or if you want to just sit back and sit on the tracks and wait for the train to hit you. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay, so to preface this, I started taking a 1-year course from the fellow who wrote these books that Sharon and I have that we've been using for these readings so far. And so with this course that I'm now taking as of September 1st, I have software. And so we thought that would be really cool to show all of you because so far in these, in any reading or whatever, when we're showing you the spread, it's very tiny for you all to see. So I'm going to screen share. I have Sharon's life spread up here, the current year. Okay. So we each have a sun card. So the birthday, the day that you're born. So for Sharon, she's a 9 of clubs, December 9th. And then because she's a Sagittarius, her second card is a King of Diamonds over here. Then this third card called a Decanate Ruler, which is more based on the degree of the day that you were born. So Sharon's is a King of Hearts. Any king is very masculine energy, which me and Sharon have been giggling about, our tendency to bulldoze men. But anyway, so she has these 2 kings. I'm going to go through the top spread here in one of these just to let you know how it works. The moon card is basically who is moon to you for this year. More significant than that, there's a principle. So the longer that any card is over you, the more power it has over you. We each have, based on our birthday, we have lifetime moon cards. So for example, if you're a 10 of clubs, like Jeremy, then me and Sharon are both moon to you because we're 9 of clubs. We're the card that comes before, just like Jeremy would be moon to a jack of clubs. And there's other ways to configure this too, but that's one way. So anyways, her moon card for the year is a 6 of diamonds, which is interesting because that's also a karma card for us as 9 of clubs. We'll say more about that later. Then this long range card here, boop, it gives a little briefing of what that means. But the long range card is ultimately what the focus of Sharon's year is going to be. It's not good or bad. It's like, what is her mind about? So we can see that at her current age, starting last December 9th, Sharon's been all about peace at home. If she was married, it would have been her marriage because that's what 4 of Hearts, stable love. But she just wanted a peaceful home, more peaceful than it had been, than jumping around and moving around. She wanted peace. That was the big focus of her year. And over here too, this is funny, in her other spread, in the other long range position, we have a 7 of diamonds, which is that card we were talking about. So when she's like, oh, I have it in Saturn, I'm like, it's also your long range. This is what you're going to be thinking about all year long. 7 is a challenge, and diamonds are money, finances, or values. So she's been faced squarely this year with her inner level of poverty or abundance. And that's something that we've been talking about over the past couple of MoonCasts that has really come up with her. The Pluto card, she has a 10 of hearts and a 5 of clubs. The Pluto is always interpreted with the result. They're a pair. And so the result card is something she wants at the end of the year. So by the end of right before her next birthday, she wanted some change. 5 of spades is change in living location, change in occupation. It could be travel. It's this restless sense. So she wanted that. And in this spread here, she had to make some changes of mind in order to get it. Again, 5 is changes, clubs is thinking and our minds and mentalities. In this spread here, it looks like Sharon had a spiritual challenge in mind. 7 is a spiritual number, but spades also represent spirituality as well as work, health, and lifestyle. In order to get that result, she had to work on putting herself out in public and putting herself in groups. 10 represents a group, heart represents hearts or groups of people. That could be popularity online as well. And then lastly, environment here that's where you're getting blessings all year long. So she's having financial fulfillment of values. There could be some kind of like charitable giving that ends up giving back to you. Over here, the Ace of Diamonds is like a new business opportunity, a new idea to make money, a new job. In the displacement, this is something that you ultimately do want this year, but it's going to take more time and energy than you thought. Where the environment is like an umbrella of blessings, the displacement is like who you're paying rent to this year. Whatever this new opportunity is for money or finances, that is something that's taking a lot of her time and energy, and I can vouch for that. These MoonCasts, as well as everything else you're up to. And then over here in the other spread, you have this Jack of Diamonds. Jacks are interesting. It's another masculine card. It's a diamond suit. So again, it's money or values. Jack can represent on the low side. It can be this energy of dishonesty, immaturity, stubbornness. But on the high side, it's actually being initiated into a higher sense of values or higher financial means. So any of these things, it's always up to us to do the best we can with that energy. So that's just what's on top of her for the year. That's like the main themes. Then her year is broken down into 52 days, 7 periods of 52 days. So from December 9th, her birthday, to January 30th, she's in her Mercury. So Mercury rules the mind, it's communication, it rules driving short trips. And what happens in Mercury is never really long lasting. It could just be a day that something happens. Venus here next, so starting January 30th until March 23rd, is love, home, and family, your relationships with women. It can be a money thing because that's also Venus. And that's funny because in your Venus, you have Derek's card here too, as well as the Ace of Clubs can be like learning. Actually, I had an Ace of Clubs too. That's the period that we were heavily into self-expression and leadership. And both Sharon and I had an Ace of Clubs, which is like starting a new course. So it always shows up somewhere. After that, we have Mars, so March 24th through May 14th. And your Mars is about aggression. It can be competition. It's how you are relating with men and masculinity this year. Sharon has great cards for that. Starting May 15th through July 5th is Jupiter. So Jupiter is always beneficial. It shows how you can make the most money this year, how you can expand spiritually. And this is what Sharon was talking about. She had not only the card of creativity, 3 of clubs can also be like anxiety and worry, but in Jupiter, it's always going to be good. So she's got this creativity in her nature this year and the businesswoman. So this is where she was saying, I had good cards. I didn't do anything with them. Then this 7 in Saturn. Saturn is generally difficult. It feels like a burden or restrictive. It's teaching us something. It's getting us back into line wherever we've lost track of ourselves. Actually, the day of my Saturn starting in 2023 was exactly the day I left my ex. So you can't make this stuff up. So she had this 7 of diamonds in Saturn, as well as this protection, this king of diamonds as well. Now she's in Uranus. So things have leveled out. Has more financial stability or financial organization coming down. And then she has this 6 here. 6 is like a karmic or a peaceful card. And then in her Neptune, this is very common to have 2 of the same cards bleeding in from Uranus to Neptune. Uranus, I should say, rules the unexpected as well as real estate, workplace relations. And then Neptune it's described as being on drugs. Neptune is very Pisces. There's like a veil. It can be hard to see clearly. You kind of have rose-colored glasses. So we don't want to make too many decisions. And it looks like Sharon has a nice little card there. So that is the explanation of what I am reading, what we are reading. And this is the beautiful software we have to share with you.
Do you have any specific questions?
Like, where to invest my time? Like, invest to make money.
Perfect. So Derek is a 2 of clubs. He has a 4 of diamonds as his planetary ruler. And then he doesn't have a separate decadent ruling card because he's born within the first 9 degrees of his birthday. So his long range card is a business deal. It's a 2 of diamonds. So that's interesting that you're asking where to spend your time. I don't see any other diamonds cards per se that I would look at, but let's look at your Jupiter. So on the 1 spread, it could be that a change of mind brings you benefits or money. You have a 5 of clubs again. Anything where there's like an outdated belief system or plan, this is saying it's time to change your mind, like think about a different perspective. And you have this Jack of clubs, which is creativity, especially in writing or speaking, communicating. So maybe there's a different way of writing, speaking, or communicating, or I don't know, social media that would benefit you this year. Over here, my Lord, you have amazing cards in Jupiter. So an 8 of spades and a 10 of spades. These are 8s and 10s are 2 of the most powerful and abundant cards you can have. 8 means power and abundance, of course. And 10 is like overcoming obstacles, especially with groups. And with it in spades, it means health, work, lifestyle, it's spirituality. So you have really strong cards, and these 2 tell 2 different stories. So we don't interpret them together. So on the one hand, you have this really powerful energy that's with you this year in terms of expanding business and your spirituality. On the other hand, what can you do to maybe be more creative, or where have you been in a little box and need to break out of that?
Looking at the period, so he is currently in
Uranus.
Yeah. And what do we have in the cards in Uranus?
So right now you have on the 1 spread a 9 of hearts, which can be, it's like the card of the counselor. 9 is giving. Hearts is love and emotion. So you could find that your counselor role right now for especially people in a labor relation, like people that you work with. The Queen of Hearts, it's very nurturing. You might find that you just have some really good connections with people right now. And then in your other one, you got the King of Spades, which is the most powerful card in the deck. So from September 3rd until October 24th, you definitely want to use that. Make a list, be the king, like off with their heads, be very stubborn about what you want.
I'm sorry, Jeremy.
And then you have the Ace of Diamonds, which could be something new, especially it could be new real estate, new work stuff. That looks like what's on top of you right now.
Can you do Jeremy's to see if he should just be like submissive and just like obey?
We can do that next.
We can.
Want to talk about, Christy, will you talk a little bit about his Neptune?
Yes.
Before
So Neptune, he has this Jack of Spades. So that can be, again, Neptune, be careful because there's always a possibility of being deceived. And this is the card of the thief. So lock your doors, keep your software, whatever, laptop locked, this kind of a thing. But it's also an initiation into higher spirituality or spiritual values or into a higher lifestyle. So maybe you like have dreams of starting up at the gym again or something. Again, Neptune is very dreamy. So it doesn't necessarily mean what's going to happen is happening, but it rules the subconscious mind. So it's what you're wishing or fearing all year long. So maybe you do want a spiritual up-leveling, or maybe you're scared of being taken for your money or whatever it is. In this spread,
Maybe he's going to be leading a new program starting in January.
and that, yes, that's possible. In this spread, we have the Ace of Spades, which would be a new program, especially if it's a spiritual nature. And the Six of Spades, you could be scared of someone using your words against you, or that could just be peace in your work, health, and lifestyle as well.
Can we talk about his long range yearly influence cards a little bit
Yeah.
more?
Sure. So his Two of Diamonds year, you can probably read this, but basically partnerships and deals, a business meeting, partnership, something out of the ordinary. Your financial success requires the assistance of others this year. You can expect many phone calls, meetings, business deals to achieve working and successful financial arrangements. Let others guide you and share in the risk so you can increase your finances. This usually brings a great deal of phone calls, letters, emails, other communications about money or business, and it's usually favorable for making more money. So that's one. And then he has the Six of Clubs. This is a card of intuition and finding one's personal or professional path or destiny. If you're inclined toward development of your psychic ability or you use it professionally, this could be a year of much progress in those areas. He has a lot of intuition this year. Relative stability. Six is, it can be unchanging for better or worse. So sometimes that's a good thing. Peace and harmony with all his communications. He may have to make some compromises and be willing to see things from the other person's perspective.
There you go, Jeremy.
Dealing with Jeremy, yes. Dealing with honesty and responsibility and communications. He could have experiences this year that help him appreciate the value of these qualities in himself and in others. But yes, six also shows up when you discover a deeper purpose for your life. So that can be really nice too.
Yes. And it's interesting that I am currently living in the same household with Derek, and I have my two Six of Clubs coming up right now. I'm in one, and I have one next period. So there's a lot of that transformational energy around knowledge and what we know and how we're communicating that out.
Love it.
All right.
Go next with this.
So did anybody else have any questions?
I want to see what mine's going to be.
Okay.
So I just had my birthday.
Yes. And Julie just got back from a trip.
Nice.
Yes, we just got back from Africa.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Is it a good time to go? I feel like I've heard of other people going this time of year.
It was beautiful. Yeah, it's springtime right now. Yeah,
Very nice. And what year, Julie?
68.
Perfect. Here we go. August 5th. So you are a Eight of Diamonds, which is a very powerful card. And because you're a Leo, you have the same spread twice. Leos don't have a planetary ruling card because you're ruled by the sun. So it's the fun card twice. But you do have a decadent ruler, which is the Queen of Clubs. Do you have a question we can start with, Julie?
Financially, how are we going to do this year with our business?
Cool. Okay. Well, Eight of Diamonds is like the best business and money card you could have. So just don't bully anyone and make sure your values are honest. I
Yeah.
on the
With
word there.
integrity.
Integrous values,
Yes.
not bullying anyone with your money. Throwing your weight around is a thing. So actually, look at your long range cards. You've got you have a Four of Diamonds and an Eight of Diamonds as your long range. So
Wow.
Four of Diamonds is financial stability and organization. That's a beautiful card. It's exactly what you want to see. And then over here, you in your other spread, you have the Eight of Diamonds. So there's money coming this year. There's abundance.
Okay.
Now look at this Pluto though. So something that you want by the end of this year that you've just started on August 5th. So by August 4th this year, something that you've really wanted to create is either like peace and harmony in your relationships or with your emotions, like you want, or maybe it's you want to find destiny in love or with people. Like you're like, where do I stand with people? I don't know if you're married, but like maybe
Yeah.
you're really looking for that peace or harmony in your marriage, perhaps. But your challenges, so the Pluto in this case with the peace and harmony is this power. So I would say, where are you being asked to have the high side of the Eight of Diamonds, which you know very well, that's you, with the abundance of values and finances rather than maybe the over powerful, like power control hungry kind of an aspect of the 8 that every 8 has. And then in your other spread here, you're looking for a full transformation somewhere. The Ace of Spades is the transformation card. It's very spiritual. You want like a complete upheaval somewhere. Again, we don't read them together. So this is separate from like your marriage or whatever it may be. And your Pluto over here is a 4 of clubs. So that can be like, if your challenge is a 4, it's either that you want more stability or that you don't want stability. Like you want to break out of the box. The 4 is the box, right? 4 corners. So it's one of the two. Like you either want a massive change, but you don't want to like bulldoze your guy or whatever it is. Money stuff. Okay. So in Venus, which again has something to do with money, you have a 4 of diamonds, which is beautiful. So the 4 can sometimes be like you have enough, but not any more than enough. You have enough for your needs, but you want this abundance, but don't worry, you're taken care of. What else do we have here? Yeah. So in your Neptune for this year, again, it's what you're hoping and fearing, your state of your subconscious mind. So you have a 6 of diamonds. So that can be either you're afraid of nothing changing in your finances, or you really want things to just be stable in your finances, something like this. Okay, right now you have over here in this spread, you have a 7 of diamonds, which we talked about in Mercury. So Mercury is a state of the conscious mind. 7 of diamonds, as we've mentioned, is challenge with finances or values. So like with Sharon, that can be, it throws your internal state right in front of you of, are you full of gratitude and therefore attracting abundance and grateful for the physical things in your life? Or do you have a poverty mentality? So again, Mercury is not a big deal. Like nothing big's going to happen with this, but it's just it's on your mind. We'll put it that way. You're in Venus. So starting September 26th, you could have a change in finances. It says over here, you're still going to be stable, but look at these 2 10s you have. So it could be that as related to groups, there's a change in your finances. I would like to say for the better because you have stability over here, that protection. And then let's see, other money stuff. So Jupiter. Oh my Lord, look at this. Okay, so Jupiter. So starting January 8th, you have the King of Spades in Jupiter. Do not waste that. Make some plans. Be very clear about what you want. That is the most powerful part in the deck. The king can only be the king when he's the king. So if you're just like, up with their heads, no, take body. Like it's going down. Be very stubborn about what it is you want. Work for it. Like you are completely in charge during that time, to a lesser extent for the whole year. So don't think this starts January 8th. This starts ramping up now. You also, with that King of Spades, have the 5 of Spades. So any changes in work, living location, lifestyle are going to bring benefits and money into your life this year. In your other spread, you have 8 of Hearts. So that is like abundance and charm with people and relationships. Then this 3 of Diamonds, again, because it's Jupiter, takes the edge off that 3. So this is like working 2 jobs at once or being creative with your money, being creative with your values. So if you do work in groups or even just with people, this is the year that's where that really comes from. Okay. And then Neptune, you have a diamond. I'm bringing up diamonds because that's what we look at for money. So April 23rd, you could start some kind of a new job. And look at, you got a King of Spades there again. You could start a business actually. And it could be unexpected. It could be something that kind of just happens upon you and you're like, that's a great idea. I'll jump on that boat. So that could be something that happens too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's so perfect, Julie, that we have a human design session set up for next week for Julie. And
Nice.
What I can do with you from your design is show you where your strengths are that you can utilize in these different periods to really maximize what's going on in those time frames.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Because
And
I'll need the guidance on
Yeah,
what
so
to
we
do.
can look at your strengths. We can look at where your potential weaknesses would be from within your design, where you might be tempted to stay in the low side of your design, which is what I did during my 7 of Diamonds period. I stayed in the low side of my design. I have an undefined spleen. I never know who or what to trust. I wasn't even trusting myself. I was just wallowing in it. When I have this really powerful, amazing design that I could have leaned into and completely transformed what was going on with me, and I just didn't. So we can set you up to completely be ready for that. The other thing that I want to look at is before your session with me is to have the various people in your life have the dates available for what their birth dates are so we can see what their cards are. Because one of
Okay.
the things in Destiny cards is anything that you see with a face card is first and primarily a person. So we want to look at who are the Jack of Diamonds in your life, the Queen of Hearts, the King of Spades, anything like that. Like I see my card in there.
Yeah.
I'm the 9 of clubs. Jeremy is the 10 of clubs. So I'm seeing cards of people that are in your life, and we want to take a look at who else is in your life who might contribute to what's going on in that period.
Okay. Perfect.
It's funny, actually, on that note. So I just had my birthday, but for the last couple of weeks, my cards had a 2 of diamonds and a Queen of Hearts. So I was like, okay, I'm starting a business thing with a hearts woman. And I'm like, where is she? I don't know any. I couldn't think of who it would be. Then we found out, because we just found out about this third spread, the decadent ruling spread, like I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago. I had never known how to calculate it. I didn't know that it was that important. And then we found it. And Sharon's decadent ruling card is a King of Hearts. And I was like, there she is.
Oh, wow.
Sense. Yeah, there's always mysteries that we're untangling. Yeah,
Did you-
That's crazy.
Julie, did you have any other questions or comments about what we said so far?
And these cards relate to the spiritual side. Like today I had 2 or 3 like signs from Dustin just out of the blue. And because he's on the other side. Did any of this read spiritually or messages from the other side?
So Sharon has been doing weekly readings. And so that is a process. So none of this changes. This is like math software, but the weekly reading is, I wouldn't say it's like tarot, but it's a self-awareness tool. But I think that could be something that really serves you in terms of the day-to-day messages. Sharon does a weekly reading where she'll do it on, I believe it's the day you're born, or you backdate it. And you throw the cards down, and she has this whole structure where she puts them down, and it shows you every day what the lesson or the message is. And I bet you that those drops that you're getting would relate a lot with what Sharon can show you in the weekly reading.
Okay.
Yeah.
And his cards will probably be showing up on those days when you're having those downloads from him.
Okay. Interesting. His birthday is coming up too in October. Interesting. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Veronica, you look so lovely.
I know, beautiful.
Glowing.
Thank you.
Still in bed, woke up for the call.
Love that for you and for us. Thank you.
I was up and productive between 5:30 and 8:30, and then I fell asleep again. So anyways, yeah, I had a bit of a bomb drop on me during the eclipse. And so I had to do like a major life pivot. So I'm wondering if we could revisit the spread and see what happened there.
Absolutely.
And also, now that I've had to pivot, I'm looking ahead at October, November, wondering what do I need to prepare for and how my human design can help me navigate that and succeed.
Yes, ma'am. Veronica's a 10 of clubs too. You have great cards in Mercury right now since August 20th. Again, whatever happens in Mercury it could feel big, but it's not. Like we were saying, what happens in Mercury is never long lasting. It could feel like an upheaval, but it's not anything that colors the rest of your year usually. So you have a 6 of hearts, so nothing really changing in relationships or emotions. And maybe what happened could be part of that. Or if things have been this upheaval, no change there. But it could also be karma. As a 6 of clubs, you don't really, you are karma for people because you are a 6. But this can be like someone spitting back in your face something from the past in a relationship or in love. That can be a 6 of hearts thing. And then 8 of clubs is power in the written or spoken word. 10 of hearts is success, popularity in groups. And then the Queen of clubs, that can be like impatience, but it's also intuition. So again, we read these separately. And then you wanted to look at, was it October, November?
Yeah.
Okay. So in October, the 11th, you have a change. Venus, again, rules the home and relationship. So you could be moving. somewhere between October 11th and the end of the month of November. And actually, underneath, we have these underlying cards. So there is a protection financially here. You have the Four of Diamonds, very tiny. And then the Five of Hearts. So that's like change of emotion, change of relationship status. So I know that in your situation, you're in flux. So that could be like the final nail in the coffin or something. It could just be a change of heart related to a female because it is Venus. Then you have this Ace of Clubs with a Two of Hearts. So that's interesting. I'll leave that open to interpretation. And then over here on this side, we have a Nine of Spades, which is usually an ending or a fulfillment. So that's either with a woman or in your home. So that could be concurrently at the same time of moving your home or changing your lifestyle. You've got the Six of Hearts here again, which in Venus would be a good thing. That's like a peace and harmony at home or in your emotions. Let's see. Where else would you like to go with this?
I was wondering if I could get a little reminder of how my human design as a generator can help me in this new phase. Because basically, yeah, I do have to move and find a lease on a new place. So I will be moving soon before October 11th. But I don't know, maybe there's something around getting settled around that time. I don't know. With this move, there's also a new business starting where I can finally start to see clients
Nice.
instead of just doing virtual work. So I'm just wondering how my generator human design, along with the destiny cards, can help me sort of like navigate that to make the most out of it. Like, how do I reach the most people? How do I build my client list? How do I market myself successfully? What's my best approach to do this work that I want to do?
Since we're talking about business, I just wanted to point out that you have in your Jupiter a Nine of Clubs, which is giving information. So you could find that there's a useful, maybe through social media, you're talking more about what you do and the benefits of Reiki and all the things that you do. That could be useful, as well as you have this Four of Hearts. So that could be like, I mean, it sounds like you're partnering with people that you're going to be in close quarters with. So they could be a benefit to you as well, or just people that are close to your heart. In this spread, you have a King of Clubs, which is the master of knowledge. So again, there's this like information kind of a centric. And then Ace of Spades, which is like complete, it's spiritual, first of all, perfect for what you're doing. And it's the transformational card. And that is ultimately what you do with your healings, is it's very transforming. So I just wanted to point that out. You have so many queens, which represents being supported by women and just being of service and nurturing, which you are, that's like your birthright, right? Sharon, do you have the design?
Yeah. So as a generator, as a pure generator, the first thing that I noticed is your profile is a 3-5. So you are one of the ones that are here to benefit the rest of us by going through things so that you can discover what works and what doesn't work. Now, Christy and I are both first lines, where we research the information and we study other people and we study things to gather the knowledge to share what works and what doesn't work from a knowledge base. But you actually get the privilege of going through the stuff so that you know at your soul, at your core, what works and what doesn't work, so that you can share that as the 5 line, which is the guide, with other people.
Okay.
And so the other thing that I noticed about this right away is you also have gate 35, which I call the responsibility shoulder. And because it's red, it means it's unconscious. So you are going to show up in everything that happens to you. So in this whole trial and error, does this work? No, on to the next, on to the next. Oh, that worked well. Let's tweak it a little bit and make it work even better. In that whole lifetime path of yours, you are unconsciously going to want to take responsibility for everything that doesn't work. And that's the biggest thing that I can say to you right now is practice letting that go. It's not easy because it's part of basically your machinery of how you're designed to be. It's what helps you see things and be able to guide people. And it's going to slow you down on your path if you just get stuck in that. So just take it as oh, hey, this is what I signed up to do. I'm here to experiencing things, and then let it go and tweak it and move on to the next thing. without
Okay.
getting stuck in taking responsibility for that. Does that resonate at all with what you're going?
Absolutely.
The other thing that I see is you are non-emotional. So that doesn't mean that you're just hard and crass, right? It means that you don't have to ride the emotional waves that the majority of the population has to ride. So you get to go with your sacral. When you're a sacral yes for something, you can do it because not only do you have not have to ride the waves, but you also, when you get that hit from the sacral that says, yes, this is right for me, I want to do this now, you have it directly connected doubly to your splenic center, which is all of the instincts. So you're going to be able to immediately have a second hit of, if your spleen says, no, you're wrong, this is not right for you, this is not going to go well, you're going to feel it in your gut, like physically feel, ooh, this feels icky. So if you
Yeah.
feel that, then redirect, because your spleen knows you are very heavily defined in the spleen. And so you have a lot of instincts as long as you listen to them. And because it's connected like this, you can just very quickly go through life of, hey, do I want to do this? Yes, I'm a yes. Ooh, that feels bad. Okay, pivot. So you're going to be like friends, pivot. Does that help?
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, and what Christy said about getting stuck in things, you have gate 30, which I've explained this on a prior MoonCast, but gate 30 attaches to gate 41 on this side, and it's like a sieve or a funnel. So gate 30 is the bottom point of the funnel where it's really skinny. And gate 41 is the top of the funnel where everything's possible. You've got all the stuff coming in. And the reason we need both sides of those is gate 41, which is what I have, can get stuck in, there's 100 things possible, especially for my business, which is why I need Christy. There's 100 things possible, and I'm just stuck in, I have all these ideas and I never do anything. So gate 30 is what helps you funnel it down to, yeah, there's all these great ideas, but let's funnel it down to this one thing for right now. The caution on this is gate 30 can get stuck in, there's only one way.
Mm.
If you get stuck in that with your gate 35 being responsible for things, and okay, this didn't work the way I wanted it to, and that's just the way it has to be, you can get stuck in a place that's not meant for you. You're meant to try it out, move on to the next, learn from it, try it out, learn from that, move on to the next.
Okay.
Does that give you any other questions that you have about that?
No, that's a good reminder of who I am, what I'm good at, and what I need to watch out for right now.
Yeah, perfect.
I do appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. And there's a lot more here. If you wanted to dive into it more, Christy or I can work with you on that, because there's a lot of things that you can do of like being in groups of people that would be beneficial for like your gate 47, which is your aha moments, your storyteller gate. So we can, if you want to work with us, we can help you really dive into the extra gates that are in here and give you more of a direction on that.
Yeah, and that really aligns as well because I've been part of this networking group for like over a year, maybe two. And now that I'm actually living in the city, I can actually go to the meetings and hang out with these people.
Nice. Perfect.
Already
Yeah.
had my first meeting with them and it's already made a huge difference. So that part about groups of people really resonates right now.
Okay, great.
And lastly, I was just going to throw in too, looking at your Pluto and result cards. You have this 10 of diamonds in Pluto, which is groups specifically related to money or values. So that's one thing that's going to be your transformation this year. So glad to hear that you're already diving into that. And your result there is the most powerful card in the deck. So this is good. And then on this side too, you have the Queen of Clubs, which is the card of intuition. And I was just noticing in your human design, Sharon, would you throw that back up for a second? And I'm sure we've talked about this in one of our readings, Veronica, but you are what we call quad right. So You're like fully receptive mode, these arrows here, not to mention the fully open head, open ajna, and you're the 6 of clubs. So you are like quadruple psychic. And so with this Queen of Clubs, this intuition as your transformation this year, I read that as really take time to get quiet, get out of the aura of other people. Maybe that's why this whole bomb drop move thing is happening, so that you can have more of that time to listen and hone your intuition. And I know you to be very intuitive as it is, but of course, life goes on. We always keep chipping away. So yeah, that I just wanted to say, like, I was hit again in the face with just how receptive and open and intuitive you are. And that's your transformation this year too.
Great. As of yesterday, I have my own place. I'm going to be living by myself for the first time in over 20 years. So
Congratulations. That's going to be so nice.
Great.
Amazing. And thanks for your question. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you so much for coming. It means a lot that you guys were able to hop on and we could see your beautiful face and screen. So yes, to everyone, thank you so much.
Oh, how do we access the recordings?
Oh, they are on Spotify and YouTube.
Okay. So
As
yeah,
soon
if we
as
can
they're-
get the link, that'd be great.
Absolutely. As soon as they're posted, I'll go ahead and send that out to everyone. And then once you have that link, you can just follow the YouTube channel and you'll get notifications from there when they pop in as well.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you all for being here. As usual, it's such a pleasure to have you with us, to tell you our stories and to read your cards and design. We hope to see you all next time.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.